Princess Leonor's wedding dream vs. the brutal reality. Imagine growing up knowing that one day, your wedding could become one of the biggest royal events in the world. Millions watching, cameras everywhere, a historic cathedral, a breathtaking dress, and a moment that looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. But for Princess Leonor, the future Queen of Spain, a royal wedding could come with a reality far more complicated than the dream. Because when you are the heir to a throne, falling in love may be personal, but getting married? That could become a matter of national interest. And that raises one fascinating question: could Princess Leonor ever have the simple, private wedding she might dream of, or would royal duty completely change the way she says I do? For most people, a wedding is about two people, two families, two hearts, one unforgettable day. But for Princess Leonor, the future could be very different. As the heir to the Spanish throne, her life is already closely connected to the future of the monarchy. Every public appearance matters. Every decision can attract attention. And one day, if she chooses to marry, her wedding could become an extraordinary moment in Spanish history. Just imagine the scene: the streets filled with crowds, royal guests arriving from across Europe, world leaders potentially watching, millions of people following every detail of the ceremony. The dress, the tiara, the music, the flowers, the carriage, the balcony appearance. From the outside, it could look like the ultimate royal fairytale, but behind the glamour would be a much more complicated reality. Because Princess Leonor's future husband wouldn't simply be marrying a woman, he would potentially be marrying into one of Europe's most closely watched royal families. And that means the choice of a partner could attract enormous public attention. Who is he? Where does he come from? What is his family background? What does he believe? How would he handle the pressure? And perhaps most importantly, would he be prepared to live under the constant spotlight that comes with being connected to a future queen? These are questions ordinary couples rarely have to consider. For Leonor, they could become part of the reality of love. And that's where the dream begins to collide with duty. A royal wedding might look like freedom, but every detail could carry meaning. The guest list could become a diplomatic statement. The location could carry historical significance. The ceremony could reflect centuries of tradition. And the bride herself would not simply be walking down the aisle as a private citizen. She would be stepping closer to the throne. That could make the moment incredibly beautiful, but also incredibly intimidating. Because once the celebrations are over, the cameras disappear, and the crowds go home, the real responsibility begins. The future Queen of Spain would still have a country to represent, a role to fulfill, and a monarchy to protect. So perhaps the biggest challenge wouldn't be finding someone she loves. It would be finding someone who understands what loving a future queen actually means. Someone who can accept that her life will never be completely ordinary. Someone who can handle the scrutiny, the expectations, the criticism, and the endless curiosity of the public. And then there is another question that makes the story even more fascinating. Would Leonor want a huge royal wedding at all? Or could she dream of something quieter? Something more personal? Something that belongs to her rather than to the institution she represents? We simply don't know. The public has seen Princess Leonor grow into her role, but her deepest personal hopes for marriage remain private, and rightly so. Yet that mystery is exactly what makes the future so intriguing. Because when the day eventually comes, if she chooses to marry, the world will undoubtedly be watching. People will want to know who captured the heart of Spain's future queen. They will analyze every glance, every smile, every word. And the person standing beside her could suddenly become one of the most recognizable figures in Europe. That's the brutal reality hidden behind the fairy tale. A royal wedding may be filled with romance, but for a future monarch, it could also be filled with responsibility. The dream is a beautiful ceremony. The reality is a lifetime of duty after the ceremony ends. And perhaps that is the greatest question of all. When Princess Leonor eventually chooses the person she wants to spend her life with, will she be able to separate the woman from the queen? Or will the crown always be standing between her and the kind of ordinary love that so many people take for granted? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: if Princess Leonor ever walks down the aisle, the world won't just be watching a bride. It will be watching the future Queen of Spain begin an entirely new chapter. And behind that perfect royal smile, there may be a story of love, sacrifice, duty, and a choice that could shape the future of the Spanish monarchy itself.